Hello students, welcome to this math video lesson on the volume supernode. Now let's remember that volume refers to how much space something takes up in 3D space. Now whenever we're talking about volume, we're talking about 3 dimensions. So let's look at section A, volume of cubes. So let's have a look at this 3D diagram we have here. So when we're calculating volume, there are 2 methods. So I want you to always keep that in mind. You have to decide what method works best for you, method 1 or method 2. Sometimes it depends on what kind of information is provided. So method 1, let's focus on the base of this cube. So if we were to look at the bottom of this cube or the top of this cube, this is what it would look like. So what shape do we have here? Well, we have a square. So let's calculate the area of this square. So we have area of a square, and you know the formula for area of a square. It is s squared. Okay, so let's think about our 5-line solution. So that's our first line, the formula line. The second line is to state what we know. Well, we know that the side, the length of a side, is 2 centimeters. The third line is the substitution line. Area equals 2 to the power of 2. Then we have our calculation line. Area equals 4 centimeters squared. Now we're not going to put a therefore statement because this question is not really about the area, it's about volume. So then we kind of have to go on to step 2. Now let's focus on its height. It has 2 layers of this area. So what does that mean? So we have one layer here, and then we have a second layer piled on top of it. So its height is 2 centimeters. So we have a new formula that we can use here, and that is volume equals area of the base times the height. So that's our formula line. Our second line is our information line. Well, the area of the base we just calculated up here, which is 4 centimeters squared. We know that the height is 2 centimeters because it has 2 layers of that area. Third line is our substitution line. 4 centimeters squared, which is the area of the base, times the height, how many layers we have in that prism. And then when we multiply them together, we have 8 centimeters cubed. Now, important thing that you have to remember when we're talking about volume, the volume units are always something cubed. All right, so let's put our therefore statement. Therefore, the volume of this prism, we could call it the cube, it doesn't matter. The volume of this prism is 8 centimeters cubed. Okay, so that's method 1. Now method 1 really works well when you're already given the area of the base. So let's talk about method 2, which is probably the method you learned last year. So we have a formula for volume of a cube. So let's write volume of a cube equals, I'm wondering if you remember it from last year. Well, the volume of a cube is s to the power of 3. Now I want you to write that in brackets here. What does that mean? That means s times s times s. It does not mean s times 3. It means s multiplied by itself 3 times. In other words, s times s times s. All right, that's our first line, our volume or our formula line. Our second line is the information line. Well, what do we know? Well, we know that the length of a side is 2 centimeters. The third line is the substitution line. Volume equals 2 to the power of 3. 2 centimeters to the power of 3. So what does this mean? That means 2 times 2 times 2. Our calculation line, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 8 centimeters cubed. Remember, volume is always going to be some type of units cubed. So let's write our therefore statement over here. Therefore, the volume of this cube or prism is 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters cubed. And of course, this answer is going to be the same as this answer because it's the same shape that we're talking about. It's just two different methods to get that answer. Okay, so this concludes this video lesson on volume of cubes. Thanks for watching. Bye.